Hello there, Gamerstone Samurai TV here with a brand new video here on the R36max review. If you've been thinking about getting one, let me just try to give you a little let me show you what you're going to be getting into, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie, it kind of is a piece of shit though, but like if you're looking for something kind of cheap, then this might be like for you, you know. So initially with the R36 Max, they're okay. They're not the best. Like I'm gonna like really tell you right now, with one of these, you're gonna have to be switching out cores like freaking crazy, because it's like there's certain games that just don't even work though, but if you work on these games and try to like screw with the settings or whatever and stuff, then you can get these games to work. Like for instance, you can get Toy Story to work. That's one of the games. I was able to get Super Mario 64 DS to work. I actually got Super Mario 64, like regular Super Mario 64, mind you that. There's also Zelda Ocarina of Time, Zelda Majora's Mask that had to be messed with a little bit. But there's also games that are just like hopeless, because to be honest, it shows Resident Evil 2 is on here though, but Resident Evil 2 doesn't work. Yeah. But you know, with the long list, like honestly, I think there's like a longer list of games that don't work on here and stuff. But it's like it's usually like the games that really more pop out from your childhood, from like usually games from like N64 just don't even work on here, like Pokemon Stadium, like that don't even work. But there is one thing I need to point out. It did work and play all the DS games, but for some reason, whenever I boot this thing up now, it doesn't let me play any DS games anymore, which kind of sucks. If you do decide to buy an R36, let me show you where you're gonna get into. So you get this little box first, and it's kind of nice. Comes with a nice little carrying case, like this. So if you also have, I also bought an R36 Ultra, which I will do a review on, which I have also done an unboxing. It fits perfectly well. The R36 Ultra fits this also. I just want to say that though. But you open up, you get a little all this, just like with the other videos I've done. I've honestly have not even touched this at all. That's the most I've even done, but that's kind of what you get. And it's like you get what you get. It's not like something like totally awesome and stuff. It comes with like a regular USB-C cord, which is which is good. Like I'm glad that they do that though. But with this also, so there is music if you turn it on. Like I didn't even know that. Like when I got the R36 Ultra, like it has like the same kind of like programming and stuff, and it plays music right away. I'm like, wait a minute, why isn't this thing playing music? And then you literally have to go like switch the setting on and stuff, which is like, eh. So it's, yeah, though. But there are games on here that are they're actually really really fun, like the ROM hack games. There is like, I never even knew that there was any ROM hack. Like I barely even knew what a ROM hack was though, but it's like I usually thought that was like reserved for like different kind of games, like different kind of platforms or whatever, like N64, like Super Mario 64 with like the Odyssey like hack, like yeah. But either way though, but it's like there's games on there like Mario's Time Machine. That was a trip to see and stuff. And like I plan on playing that again, and I plan on like hitting my shell into that freaking my time machine and stuff though. But with these, they do try to put on the all the ROM games that you'd get on an Ultra also. So what you wouldn't believe is on here is not just like Angry Birds 8 bits, but there is a Plant versus Zombie version. Okay? Okay, there is a Plants vs Zombies version on this thing, which is actually really good. And I think that like for games like that, it does like for something that supports retro games like that. Like I think that is very good at um reacting to a game like that. Like a Plants vs Zombies in 8 bits. Like it just like the joysticks are kind of they honestly did a pretty good job when I needed it. Um, Regularly in like in games that are not 8 bit, like they kind of like the joysticks kind of do like I don't know, like I feel like I'm very limited with the joystick movement. Like if I were to be playing like Super Mario 64 DS, like I do feel like somewhat limited though, but as long as like I'm in the right camera angle and everything, and just by pressing one of these buttons, like it's really like it's like I'll be fine though, but it's kind of like it does get me off a little bit more than usual on the joystick movement. Now, 64 DS was not made for the joystick and everything. It was is with the D-pad, and like when I work the D-pad on it and stuff, I'm like, it's okay, you know. It's like I do feel like some of the buttons, like I like some of the D-pad buttons, I have to press a little bit harder sometimes though, I I only like really notice that kind of thing if I'm like playing Pokemon. And for the Pokemon games, like they do pretty well though. It's just I never got a chance to play the Pokemon games on the DS aisle of this though, they don't since this damn thing doesn't play DS games anymore. Cause it crashed or something. I gotta get it fixed. But no, it's like it does if you're trying to get this for Pokemon, not a bad idea actually, you know, but it's just you might have to you like this has no Wi-Fi, you might be having trouble trying to connect it to Wi-Fi. So I think that might be a big challenge for you though, but it's like I don't think that it is it's not impossible to connect one of these to your internet though, but I feel like this is not the product you would get if you want to connect something like this to the internet. If you're looking to be playing PSP games, I wouldn't suggest the R36max because if you try something like Chains of Olympus on here, good fucking luck, dude. Um, like a lot of the PSP games, like I don't know. Like I've explored the PSP a little bit though, but there's just not like a lot of love for it though. It's like in the PlayStation aisle, I think they do give you a decent amount of love on the PlayStation now because you do get Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3. Um, you know, like I think that they should have put more love on the 36 Max, but they do that on the Ultra, which I think is like the better one. This one is kind of the crappy one, if you were to say, because like if you're anyone that does research on this, you'll sooner or later find a comment that says this is meant like this feels like it's meant for a 4-year-old to hold and stuff, you know what I mean? Which is kind of like you know, I mean, like, there's also a lot of love for arcade, I feel. I think they do a really good job on some of the arcade games, like some of the Ninja Turtle games. There's also a lot like all of the Rampage games, like they were fun though, but seriously, like PSP is just kind of non-exist, existent though. But there are a few bangers on it, like via Vice City Stories. I did not expect that Vice City Stories would work so well, and like it's just like okay, you know, it's like I guess it's like if something has to work, then Vice City Stories has to fucking work, I guess, though. But anyways, I think that's just about it for this video. Please like and subscribe on this video. We have more coming up. You'll probably be seeing this box right here. That's best for you viewers over here. So yeah, stay subscribed and keep on watching, folks. See you in the next video.